Hello and welcome to Crypto Invest TV. I'm your host, X8, followed by the Underdoge, and let's get into it. So, as we know, we've been having a pretty substantial climb from here to Monday. We've been seeing some pretty substantial growth day over day, and so I think it was just something that we would briefly bring up right now. We'll go ahead and look at the chart and we'll pull it back for you know the we'll pull it back here a little bit from, we'll say, the 25th when we started going back down. So we trailed back down on the 25th going into the 26th, hit that low of 30,153, and then we bounced all the way back up within a relatively short period of time back to 36,000, and we're currently holding at almost 35,000, and we've been trying to hold that 35,000 range for a while. So I'm starting to think that the point of resistance for us is that 37,000 range again. Um, Go ahead and we'll
Yeah,
zoom in a little bit.
I definitely have to agree, man. I don't see it bouncing below 37. So I would have to say that 37 is its new home right now.
Yeah, I would say that that's probably where it's trying to meet that point of resistance, just because of what we'd seen over the past couple of days. For the most part today, we've been staying relatively flat. We did get down to the bottom of 34,000, and so it looks like we're starting to have a lot more support, when it comes to that area. And so that's why I was saying I think we're going to be bouncing between 34,000 and 37,000 until we end up finally breaking through that 37,000 resistance, which I think most likely will probably be coming fairly soon. We'll move on into Ethereum. It's got a 4% gain today. It's been doing fairly well. Um, I believe we had finally broken through that 2000 area that we had been so desperately trying to get above over the weekend, going onto, what was that, Sunday night? I think it was Sunday night is when we ended up having that shoot from like 30, or not 30, from 1800 all the way up to almost 2000, and then we just essentially have been climbing steadily since then. How do you feel about the way that Ethereum has been doing over the past couple of days in comparison to some of the other coins?
I think it's doing good. Look at that chart. You can't complain about it. Even though it's not where people want to see it, past 3,000. Um, I personally think Ethereum's been doing better than the majority of coins. Uh, Still holding here at 22.5. We haven't seen a dip below, obviously,
It hasn't gone
2,100.
back down to 2000. I can say that much. It looks like it
Yes, I mean
it
that's
it
a
wants
that's
to
a
stay
thing.
above
And
that.
went down too.
Yeah. Um.
So I mean, Ethereum's doing good in my eyes. They got a lot of things coming up though. So of course, people are going to start investing. Plus, they're the leaders of the smart contracts right now. So Ethereum's just going to be catching all sorts of money right now. Especially at this moment, it's a real buying time to get into Ethereum. Especially if you have $2,200, $2,300 laying around, and you can buy yourself a full Ethereum. Right now is the time to do it. Obviously, it was the time to do it when we were at 1,800. That was definitely the buying time. But if you're just beyond and a little past that, right now is a good buying time to get in, especially with what's going to happen here in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I think people are realizing that whenever the contracts basically didn't end up shattering Ethereum, like, a lot of the bearish people were thinking. I think that ended up helping it out a lot because it gave it some some validation. Um, we'll
Well,
go ahead.
not only that, but a lot more people started looking into smart contracts and what they could do with it. So once they started realizing what they could do with that technology, and then they started utilizing it, I think that's why we're seeing more money being dumped into there, into Ethereum and the network at the moment. Is because there's just so much potential you can do with smart contracts in the Ethereum virtual machine that people overlooked it and was like, it's going to ruin everything. Realistically, it's helping him.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think Ethereum is holding strong in comparison to a lot of the other coins. We can go over here and we can look at BNB. I know there for a while BNB was really struggling to try and get back up to get back up above 300. It is right now. We can see that, but you know, it was having a it as you see right here, from what is this, the 29th at 9:30 to the 30th at 10:45, it was nothing but downwards. If we go over here and we look at Ethereum, their downwards was much smaller. If we go over here to Bitcoin and we look at that, their downtrend from the 36 to let's see, about the same time would be 34. That we already knew that that was the point of resistance. But as you can see over here with Binance, they broke above 300, so it shouldn't have been so hard for them to try and break up past it again. But unfortunately, they were having a really hard time doing that. We can
Well,
go and look at the depth chart, and we can kind of get an idea of what's going on with the price.
I'm not 100% sure if
Hmm.
so. I'm not 100% sorry. I had some audio issues, but I'm not 100% sure that the trading is the issue, right? What I think is the issue is that Binance is just going through some brand new integrations recently with an NFT platform and other things of that nature. And they're gearing up to, kind of essentially be like Ethereum almost in a sense. So I think that that's probably having a lot to play with it in the background because they're doing a lot of new integrations, like I was saying, so lots of new technologies coming to the Binance platform. But if United States were able to allow us to trade like regulated stock tokens or something, like how they got stock tokens on the global sites, if we were able to get those, I think Binance coin would actually be one of the better. I think it would surge a little more here in America for sure, and on the market itself, because then we would have access to a lot of people could pull out of the stock market and get into cryptocurrency, and it's a peg coin that tracks the price of the stock itself. So, I mean, who knows? I mean, Ethereum itself, I have never heard of a stock pegged Ethereum token, but I have, for Binance. So I know that there's stock tokens out there and they've been being made for the past couple of years, but stuff like that. So Binance has a lot of stuff coming up, and that may have a part to play in why their price was so wishy-washy over the past couple of weeks.
Right. So we'll go and look at ADA and see how they're doing. Go ahead and pull them up on the proper chart. So we can go ahead and we'll start from the 28th. So on the 28th, it looks like they actually kind of ended up with a similar issue with that downwards pressure from 42 cents down to a dollar 28. You can definitely tell that there was that downwards pressure because as soon as it hit a certain number, it spiked in comparison to their spike is a little bit more gradual in comparison to ADA's. Um, but we can see here on Sunday. Um, this is where we had the spike across the market, and they reached up to that $1.42 yesterday, and then they reached another high of $1.39, and they're currently holding above $1.30. So, I think we're starting to see some massive recovery across the board. We can go and look at Dogecoin. We can see it dropped all the way down to 16 cents back on the 21st, but we're trying to look at the 15-minute chart. So we'll pull this back to the 27th, and that's you can see again where we had that massive spike. So in comparison to some of the others, Doge has fallen a little bit underneath its previous, I guess you'd say, consolidation area before it spiked up to 27 cents. But when you consider how much it fell for what it is, I think it's still actually doing relatively well, and you could even say now it's still like for the primarity of the month, you'd say it's in a consolidation area from, you know, we could say the 25th to right now, or even um, you know, the 23rd to right now, subtracting that spike.
Dogecoin is going to be I mean, where we're sitting at right now, we're sitting at 25 cents. It seems like Dogecoin really likes that area, though. I tell you what, because it likes to bounce between 16 and 25, and then 25 and 32, and then back down to 25, and then back down to 16. So seems like that's its range right now of where the most volatility is going to be at is in between the 16-cent mark and the 32-cent mark. I don't know if we'll see it pop up above 32 cents this week. We may. I hope so. I've really been praying for $1 Doge. I really want one Doge to equal one Doge finally. It's like about time for it. It deserves it. But I mean, it's looking good, man. It's looking good. The chart isn't bad. Yeah, there was some mass sell-offs for a second there. Took us down to 16 cents and then popped us back up, though. I think that's going to keep happening in any coin. Sure, people are gonna put a couple thousand in, make a couple hundred, take some profits. Put more money in, make a couple thousand, take some profits. So we're going to see it happen, but these charts look pretty good. I'm not even going to lie. I see upward trends all over the place. So
Yeah, I don't disagree at all. I think we'll just go ahead and we'll move on into our first topic of the day, which is regulation. So I'll just pull up this article real fast and we'll read over it together. Um, Government must have power to reverse crypto transactions, says co-chair of Blockchain Caucus. And it says many in the cryptocurrency industry have long demanded that Congress provide a regulatory clarity on how it will tax and regulate digital assets. But as powerful figures in Washington weigh in, it's doubtful crypto enthusiasts are liking what they hear. Democratic Representative Bill Foster of Illinois, co-chair of the House Blockchain Caucus, said on Tuesday that laws must be passed to allow federal courts to identify digital asset holders and then reverse transactions in Bitcoin or other digital currencies, a policy that is um, the enigma, man,
Enigma.
yeah, the enigma to many cryptocurrency investors. Then it says you have to be able to go to the court to unmask participants under some circumstances. Foster said during the Axos
Hell no.
virtual event Tuesday, adding that cryptocurrencies must be pseudo anonymous so that regulators can see if transactions on the network are fraudulent. And that's the whole reason why I wanted to bring this up.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up.
Yeah, exactly.
They want to see if a transaction is fraudulent on the network, right?
Yep, that's what it says. That's what they're saying right
That
here.
defeats that completely defeats the purpose of the blockchain because the blockchain itself will determine if a transaction is fraudulent.
And
If
that
a
was
transaction is fraudulent, then the nodes will not process the transaction because it will not be able to connect to the chain. It will try to start a new chain, and if all the nodes disagree, then it will refuse to start that new chain. These guys are idiots.
And that's exactly what I was about to bring up essentially is that, the fact of the matter is that to say that they need to see that certain, transactions aren't fraudulent, like you were saying, that would completely defeat the purpose of what the blockchain is. If you were able to put fraudulent transactions into the blockchain, then people would not be as passionate about, blockchain technology as they are because it would have the fatal flaw like other forms of currency do. And so that's why it's really important that people understand that when they try to do things like this, that it's really them trying to take control over cryptocurrencies. I don't think that there's any
This
scenario where
sounds
they
like
need that.
this sounds like, to me, it's a blanketed version of China. Like they want to try to be like a um wow, man, it seems to me like they want to be like a like China, right? But they don't want to look like China, right? Behind the closed doors, it seems like they want, if you don't purchase the cryptocurrency through the government, then and let them see your transactions and you can't have it type of deal. And that to me is just absolutely disturbing because the blockchain was created not only to protect anonymity, but to connect peer to peer. So that way we didn't have to go through the third party intermediary. That's exactly what the blockchain was created for.
Yeah, it's
So
where
for
right here
them
where they
to try
say,
to but for them to try to even print this into publication and try to get people to even believe that this is factual, to me, is completely asinine, and it shows that politicians have no right to be sticking their nose into this industry. Granted, sure, there should be some things that should be regulated. Now, when you were talking about how they're saying fraudulent transactions, the only way that I, to my knowledge, can find in my brain that there could be fraudulent transactions is the same way I got hacked, and that's through a smart contract. To me, that's the only way I personally know that you can either A, send fraudulent transactions, and it wouldn't even be fraudulent if you have money in there. But fraudulent transactions, you can't send a transaction twice on the blockchain, for one. Okay. And like I said, if a transaction goes to the blockchain and all the nodes look at it and say, okay, that's fraudulent. You know what I'm saying? Like they're the ones that validate the transactions. So for these people to try and woo, publicize this just blows my mind. This is the kind of thing that they're going to do is target people with this kind of bullshit information because they think people don't know better.
yeah, I mean,
And
it
they
says
think that
here, it says here,
it's just crazy.
he said on Tuesday that laws must be passed that allow federal courts to identify digital asset holders and then reverse transactions in Bitcoin or other digital currency. So essentially, what they're saying is that if they think what you're doing is fraudulent activity, then they can essentially deny your transaction. And
No, no, no,
that's what
no.
that's what this guy's saying. That's
That
what he
guy is a
wants.
that guy is a freaking moron. So essentially, what they're trying to say is that they want to go in and redesign the whole entire Bitcoin network to put in uh, uh, a modifier, okay, So a modifier, it triggers actions, right? And emits actions inside of the contracts or the networks, right? So, or a function, so he wants to put a function or a modifier in there to where that if they can see that transaction come in, right? And then they're the ones that get to approve the okay when it goes out. No, fuck, F that. Screw that. To me, that is just no, no, because then that defeats the whole entire purpose of going through the blockchain, because the blockchain is to avoid the third party in, like I said, intermediary system. And it seems to me like they want to go in and put a third party intermediary system into the blockchain. Like, what? Are you a moron? You cannot deny a transaction. Once a transaction sent, it's sent. The only way it gets denied is if it's a transaction that all the nodes think that is fraudulent,
Right.
and
So
it's not up to a human to decide if the transactions are fraudulent or not. It's up to the computing in the nodes.
right. So here it says Foster suggested new laws should require a different form of pseudo-anonymity wherein a
No,
court that is a third party could learn the real world identity of a cryptocurrency user through a very heavily guarded key.
no,
Foster
no.
Foster argued such tools are necessary for the government. Uh, Such tools are necessary for the government is to protect itself, American businesses, and individuals from ransomware attacks like the ones that were used to extort millions of dollars from the Colonial Pipeline. An incident that led to widespread gasoline shortage. So this is what's happening right here. So this Foster person, they're using the Colonial Pipeline. They're using the Colonial Pipeline situation where where they had the ransomware attacks as if that's something that is going to end up being easily doable to they'll
No.
easily be able to do that to other businesses. And here's the thing is that they're preying upon the fears because here's the thing is that when that happened, when the Colonial Pipeline got shut down and there was that gasoline shortage, you have to realize that in that area, it's not like people were like, "Oh man, this really sucks. We're almost out of gas." There was actually people waiting in lines for gas that were miles long, and people actually fighting each other physically because they wanted to get to XYZ pump first. So they're using that mass hysteria moment, and then they're trying to basically flex on people's emotions to try and say that, yeah, we want to make sure that this can't happen again. So we're gonna, we should have a third party that can discover the anonymity of these individuals. But here's the thing: is that when this whole Colonial Pipeline thing happened to begin with, what did the government want to do to help out the Colonial Pipeline? They said that it was a private matter. So if it's a private matter, when that happened with them, and mind you, that actually has nothing to really do with blockchain technology, more so than it has to do with that they wanted their ransom in Bitcoin. That's the only thing that actually has the connection between between cryptocurrencies and what happened with this ransomware attack. Outside of that, the
But
ransomware that
that's
they used, it has nothing to actually do with blockchain technology. And
yeah, because that's not how it works.
they wanted Bitcoin as the form of payment. So to say, oh well, we need to be able to pry in a third eye so that way we can see, and make sure that all these transactions are safe and and valid. Okay, that's the whole reason why we have miners and nodes. That's the whole. We already have a system that works essentially perfectly, and you don't need to mess with it. You only want to be able to pry in so that way you can go in and manipulate transactions. This has nothing to do with
Exactly.
ransomware. This has nothing to do with anything other than control. You're using the fact that a ransomware attack happened to a company and they requested their form of currency in Bitcoin, because I promise you right now, had they have said that they wanted this money in euros or something, we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now, because he wouldn't be able to try and back up this fake problem with what he's saying, because there would be no connection for him to use
Exactly.
that issue. So, the
Dude,
fact of the
these
matter that
guys
he's
are
saying it is just absolutely ridiculous. They're preying upon the fear of the individual so that way they can try and take control over a system that they are not supposed to be able to have control over. And at the end of the day, No one's going to ever allow them to come in and just take control over cryptocurrencies. I
I mean,
promise you, if they came in to try and take over any type of cryptocurrencies, no one's going to be involved with those cryptocurrencies anymore because you're defeating the purpose of why people invested to begin with.
well,
Just because
not only that. Let's say that these guys start coming in and trying to regulate these cryptocurrencies and trying to reverse transactions. Like, who? First off, who in the fuck? Excuse my French, but who in the fuck do you think you are? Second off, that's not how blockchain technology works. It doesn't get attacked by ransomware. And people say, "Oh, I'm hacking your blockchain," and you got to give me $65 million in Bitcoin, or you won't have your blockchain technology back. They'd be like, "Bro, are you serious? Like, you hacked our blockchain? Okay, so you visited all 17 million nodes on the face of the planet and altered every single transaction that went through every single node?"
all at
I
once on
highly,
top of that.
I highly, I highly doubt that. So these guys even saying that are just, this is just what baffles me about politicians and the news, because then they start pushing this hogwash like this, like you said, trying to prey on the fear of people. And the fear of people right now is because they don't understand cryptocurrency. So that's the majority of the United States, right? Because a lot of them are a little bit scared to get into it, and they just because they don't understand it. Now, I asked my physical therapist. I got 7 physical therapists that work at the office I go to, right? I asked every single one, are they invested into cryptocurrency? Out of all those 7, 2 said yes, they know about it. 1 said yes, they're invested. That's 2 people that knew about it out of 7 people that actually know about it. So when you start doing statistics like that, think of how many people to the world don't have a clue about how to invest or anything like that. So this is what they're doing. They're just trying to say, oh, guess what? Your transactions aren't safe unless they go through our third-party government system. That's the only way your transactions will be safe on the blockchain. Well, hey, buddy, guess what? Since 2009, transactions have been almost completely 99 to 100% safe on the blockchain. The only reason a blockchain could ever, ever, ever get hacked is if the programmer leaves a broken security feature inside of there, allowing access through a back door. That's the only way. Only way. Only way. Unless you only got like 5 nodes on the face of the planet, and somebody can go into 5 nodes and change the transactions, which is still kind of a pain in the ass. So have fun with that. But that's the only 2 ways that you're ever going to be able to hack a blockchain or alter any kind of transaction. You're never going to be able to find a way to reverse a transaction. And if you do, then it's fine because they'll find a way to reroute around it. So it's just going to be a cat and mouse type of game for the next couple of years, where they're going to consider everybody who uses cryptocurrencies that aren't government cryptocurrencies pretty much, like an extremist or some crazy crap like that.
So over
So
here he
really,
says this is
I'm really
quoted. It
nervous to
says
see where this is going to take us, though.
this is quoted. It says I've just about said 3 things that will drive the crypto purists berserk, like the trusted third party and so on. But in fact, there's not a technology alternative that I'm aware of. Foster said. For most people, if they're going to have a big part of their net worth tied up in crypto assets, they're going to want to have security blankets of trusted third parties to solve them. So here's the thing about that before we move on to the next subject is we already
What?
have other parties that we can go and trust to certain extents, right? We already have, for instance, like Grayscale. Though you might not be in like you might not have custody of the cryptocurrency itself, they are protecting it, and there's other types of security networks out there that are already in use and work really well. So I'm just gonna lay that out, and we're gonna leave this right here and move on to the next topic because I don't
That's
want
just
it to dwell
asinine,
on
man. That to me, that is just fuck. That's just asinine. Like that's the stupidest article I've ever even. No, no, no. Just throw that thing right in the garbage. Market Watch, you're shame on you for posting that.
Anyways, we'll go ahead and we'll move on to Argo Mining. So Argo is a mining firm. So Bitcoin mining firm Argo secures $20 million of funding to build a Texas facility. Texas might be quickly working its way to becoming the next China in terms of crypto mining operations. Argo Blockchain, a UK-based Bitcoin mining firm, has secured 20 million in loan to build its facility in Texas. Argo took a loan from crypto financial service company Galaxy Digital. The 6-month loan is also
Yeah.
backed by part of Argo's BTC holdings, meaning that it won't have to dispose any of its Bitcoin holdings for the expansion. The Texas expansion plan was announced by Argo back in February, stating that it has entered into a non binding letter of intent with DPN LLC of New York to acquire 320 acres of land in West Texas to build a 200 megawatt facility. The firm stated that it has to raise $17.5 million from the assurance of new shares and also take a 100 million pre-negotiated loan for the facility. The Bitcoin mining firm already has 3 mining facilities in Canada, which are combined with the combined capacity of 35 megawatts. Speaking of Texas, well, we won't read on into that, but essentially, Texas is trying to become it's trying to become the next mining hub, and it's trying to essentially, like they were saying, it's trying to become the next China of mining, and so there's plenty of startup companies that are coming to Texas, or they're going to Florida. There's plenty of companies that are already established that are, like Argo, that are going to be putting in. Um, they're going to be putting in new facilities so that way they can be in there. So I mean, there's plenty of companies that are either going to be starting up, or already starting up, or are already established that are going to be going into states like Texas and Florida. And so you're going to see a lot of the you're going to see the fear that people have with the mining hash falling down is, that obviously it could end up really reflecting onto the price. And here's the thing: is that I think here for the next couple of months, we're probably going to be seeing a lot of congestion on the network in comparison to what we're used to, just because we're having so many people moving essentially so much hash from one location to another. So they're you're having all these rigs that are going to be down for X period of time. So with that hash dropping, you're going to see it start to create a bit of congestion on the network. But you have to remember that once these companies are established in their new locations and they're up and running, I think honestly we're going to be seeing the hash power for Bitcoin mining actually going above what it was previous to all these shutdowns.
Here's what my question is, though. All these companies are rushing over to Texas, correct? So, what type of energy are they going to be using? Is my next question. Are they going to be,
Well,
you
see,
know,
that's the
doing
thing is that
are they going to be doing the hard mining? Like the hard on the ecosystem mining. Are they going to be going to green energy mining? Like what?
so from what I understand,
Because Hold on, because they could be choosing other states too, as well. Like obviously, um, one of the richest men in the world, Bill Gates, owns a lot of property out here in America. So there's probably not a lot of vacant land that they could choose big facilities on. But Texas, I like the fact that Texas is becoming the hub of America for mining. To me, that's awesome. Texas is a strong state, and they deserve that. Uh, but what kind of energy are we going to be harnessing here? Is it going to be really hard on America's energy grid? Like that's what we have to kind of weigh in right here to see if it's beneficial to America. Because if it's really hard on our electrical grid's already outdated. And so if it's already and everything that's running here in the country is already hard enough on it.
Well, here's
So
the thing.
if
So
if them bringing that here is going to run off our electrical grid, then that may cause some issues.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. So one of the reasons why it is that that a lot of miners are choosing Texas is because one, Texas is on its own it's on its own grid from separate from the rest of the country, right? So that's one of the appealing reasons as to why miners want to move to Texas. One of the other reasons is because taxes and land
Thank you for
are
highlighting that.
fairly are huh?
I said thank you for highlighting that they're on their own separate grid, but that could cause problems for their grid too, though. So
That's the next thing that I'm going into is that I think it was like 45% of the energy in Texas is actually generated through clean energy. So I know that a lot of the miners are already anticipating uh, using clean energy sources to power the mining, especially when you consider that all these companies that are coming in to America, and then all these companies that are starting up, they're going to be trying to follow that green energy initiative that the major mining companies are already starting to try and follow. And so, I understand what you're saying about those worries, but I don't think that it's going to put that much stress on Texas's grid just because of where they're choosing. They're not choosing heavily populated areas, so that means that the area of the grid in Texas that they're going to be using will actually be will essentially be contained in that area.
obviously, infused, yeah.
Yeah, that's because the way that Texas work, like just like how it does in most grids, there's certain areas where they either boosted or there's or like they have new power stations or whatever. So essentially, the reason why they're moving to West Texas is because West Texas is it's a low population area in comparison to East Texas or Central or South. All of those there's a lot the population density is a lot higher per square mile in comparison to West Texas. So they'll go out there and they'll utilize things like solar and wind energy, and then power plants that run off of that technology, and then that's primarily the energy that they're gonna end up using. So I mean that's I would say the big reasons as to why a lot of people are moving to Texas. You already had the governor come out and say, hey, we would like to essentially welcome blockchain technology to Texas. We want to become, the center of blockchain technologies. And so these miners are like, oh, okay, cool. So there's a place that's a really inviting area to go to. One, then so they go and they take it and they go and they do their research and they see, well, the taxes aren't bad, the energy prices are not that bad, land prices are not that bad. So you have to take all of those things into consideration because yeah, there is plenty of other areas in the country that they can go to, but the reason why a lot of people are choosing Texas is for the reasons that I'm stating. It's because they're on their
Yeah,
own
they
grid
have no
system.
grid, obviously.
The
Yeah, it
land
makes
is
sense.
fairly cheap, the electricity is fairly cheap, taxes are fairly cheap. So it's just like, you have this area where everything's substantially cheaper in comparison to the geographical area around it, and so they're going to end up choosing that. On top of it already being a welcoming environment because you've already had the leader of that state say, hey, if you want to, we would like to be involved with this technology, and they essentially understand that it's something important and that we're going to be moving into going forward.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. That makes sense. Just makes sense. I just wanted an explanation as to why they were choosing to roll with that. So that clears it up. That makes sense. We understand. That's a good. That's good. Oh my gosh.
So we'll go ahead and we'll move on to this Ethereum story. Ethereum makes history by surpassing Bitcoin in a key milestone. So we'll read into this a little bit deeper because when articles come out saying things about how Ethereum has passed Bitcoin, and that's already a hot topic. They're kind of trying to do like a clickbait type of thing right there. But it says, for the first time in history of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin has been overtaken in a key transaction and trading metric. A strong price rally on Tuesday saw Ethereum surpass Bitcoin for the number of daily active addresses, according to data gathered by crypto analytics firm Sentiment. So here's the thing about that, right? So I understand that Ethereum had that rally and they are doing really well on the charts in comparison to Bitcoin, but like we were just talking about, there Bitcoin is currently going through that transition of mining hash power, right? And so that's just something that we're going to see moving forward, is that we're gonna see, I guess you would say, Bitcoin be slightly weaker than normal when it comes to price, but at the same time, once all those rigs get back up, and the network kind of gets back up to speed on where it was, and then on top of that, like I was saying about how it's going to end up surpassing what it was doing for mining power, that's when you're going to see everything kind of go back to normal. So I mean, it's really good that Ethereum is doing this, but at the same time, it's not like it's not like it's something that's super surprising given the situation and the time that we're in with crypto and with Bitcoin.
Yeah, not surprising at all. Definitely seen this one coming.
Yeah, I mean,
Definitely. I mean, Ethereum's only going to be getting better. So
yeah, there's definitely no doubt. Ethereum is definitely going to only continue to get stronger over time. There's no doubt about that. I think really and honestly, that's just kind of the reality of it. Is just that Bitcoin is going to get stronger over time. Um, I don't think we're going to be seeing a flippening of Bitcoin to Ethereum anytime soon. But I can say that I think that Ethereum will start getting closer over time. But I don't think it's going to be like Ethereum's going to flip Bitcoin by the end of the year. I don't see that. Now, could it continue to flip it in like in like the amount of transactions and things like that? It could potentially, but you have to remember that you're having to do the ratio of users at that point. So it's just kind of like you got to take one thing with another. Um, but we'll go ahead and just move on into the third topic, which was about how Coinbase, has unveiled the launch of cryptocurrency app store. So essentially, what they're doing is they're gonna be creating an app store within their own network. According to a recent blog post on Coinbase written by the company's CEO, plans are in place to launch a crypto app store that offers third-party decentralized apps (dApps). The blog post suggests that the idea was inspired by Apple's storefront, and Coinbase wants to provide the same type of service and opportunity for developers to put their designs on the App Store. Says Apple did an attempt to build every app for the iPhone. It empowered the developers and gave mobile users an easy way to access new innovative apps, we need to do the same in the terms of crypto, Armstrong writes. Armstrong goes on to state that there are tens of billions of dollars passing through dApps and innovations are coming hot and fast. Coinbase will try to give its users access to all of these dApps from one central location. dApps differ from traditional mobile apps because they do not operate on centralized infrastructures but used pooled resources. So I mean, I think it's really cool that that they're going to be essentially trying to create their own app store platform within Coinbase, right? I think that that's a really interesting thing.
Yeah, I actually am very interested for that. I'm waiting for this. I heard a lot of talk about it a couple months back. Actually, they were talking about it on their Twitter for a couple of weeks, and then they just went silent about it. Obviously, they went silent because I stopped paying attention to them. But they were talking about it. They were talking about being able to purchase from Amazon, purchase from Walmart, purchase, your home goods and all that good stuff there right from the Coinbase app itself, which I'm actually looking forward to seeing what the technology is going to be like. I imagine that once you go into the menu, they've kind of been switching it up a little bit as it is already. It's got a new user interface just recently. So when you go there, I'm assuming that on the left-hand side of the screen now where the menu drop is, you click on the menu drop and you'll probably have a storefront option in there. So that'll be pretty cool. I'm really looking forward to that because then you can purchase right from your portfolio probably.
Yeah, I think that it's going to make it. I think cryptocurrency is going to continue to innovate over and over throughout the next 5 years. I think 5 years from now, I think the level of innovation is going to be so drastic that it's almost going to seem like the technology that we use right now when it comes to cryptocurrency was kind of like how the flip phone is to the smartphone.
Right, exactly. 100% agree. I can, like, there's no way to argue that. The cryptocurrency is going to innovate itself tenfold. So right now we're still in like the baby phases of what cryptocurrency can even achieve. And we haven't even touched down on like a fragment of the technology that we can achieve. So there's just so much technology to be released here. It's going to be insane.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. So is there any projects that you would like to bring up since we're in the project segment?
Yeah, there's a couple. Let's uh, let's get into these projects. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this one up. They just had their pre-sale. I think we talked about them on Monday actually. And I think it was closer to the end of the show. Well, let's talk about them again because they're doing pretty well. I really like them. I enjoy them. The energy behind the project is actually really phenomenal. They stand for a good message, and like I'm really looking forward to seeing what the future brings for them. They are called Rise Above Token. Ticker symbol is RZA. I think we definitely talked about them.
Oh yeah,
But
most certainly.
yeah, they're definitely been doing really well. I mean, like their coin dropped. They're at 2 cents right now. So I don't know exactly what price their coin dropped in at. I'm trying to find their Twitter page right now. I had it shared, but right now it's just okay. Here we go. So yeah, it's 2 cents though right now. So that's actually really amazing. It's only 9 decimals, obviously, so it's going to make the price a little more, substantial. But in 24 hours, their pre-sale ends on July 2nd, and they're already 117 B&B into their completion. So they're about 15% complete on their pre-sale, which is pretty cool. That's awesome. You know, it's good to see um, projects like this flourish because they deserve it. There's a bunch of good people behind the project. Um, I just love the energy behind it. They have great artwork and great energy, a lot of Doge energy, lots of Doge energy. So you guys get a chance, go check them out. RZA is the ticker symbol, Rise Above is the name.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get them. Sorry, I'm gonna see if I can get them pulled up.
Yeah, you could definitely pull them up on PooCoin. I was looking them up on PooCoin. Yeah.
Yep, yep. I'm getting them getting it pulled up right now, and then we'll get this to the people. All right. So looks like they're currently sitting at 531 million dollars for their market cap. It looks like they have about $14,000 in liquidity. Um, they did finally do their launch, and they're currently actually sitting at 2 cents,
I
almost
don't
three
think
cents.
they. I don't think they've done their actual public launch though, like an actual launch. This is just their pre-sale right now.
Oh yeah, so this is like the yeah, okay.
Yeah, this is like their IDO technically on CoinTool. You know, like you go on. You know how we went on CoinTool and was kind of just messing around, and
Right.
you've seen the option to do the token, and then the IDO was next. That's pretty much what this is. This is the initial direct offering, and this is their pre-sale. And so, I mean, relatively doing relatively well, except for that mass sell-off. But they've chopped and chomped about 80% of that mass sell-off right back up. So they're doing pretty freaking well. I mean, 530 something $1 million in a market cap in just a matter of a couple of days is absolutely insane.
Yeah, I mean they are really trying to push strong. There's no doubt about that. Um
Well, I mean, the token stands for a really good thing. It's called Rise Above for a reason because it's about trying to erase all the hate in the world and trying to rise above all the negativity and hate and get us all to come together. So, I mean, it stands for a really good purpose. And I think a lot of people, once they find out what the purpose is behind it, they're going to get invested.
no doubt.
So, I mean, some other projects we talk about
Yeah,
Feg
I
token.
was gonna bring them up myself, Feg token, because they are explosive today.
Yeah, well, I mean, right now they're not doing so hot. They're a little negative at the moment, but they've got FegX Volume 2 launched. They're doing some beta testing or some final testing and doing some final migration over to FegX 1 to FegX 2. And so, yeah, they're actually doing really strong in the past couple of days. They've been freaking massively destroying the charts 58% in the 1 week. And then in the 1 day, you know, they're obviously down 0.82%. But just a couple of days ago, I think it might have been 2 days ago, when right before the show on Monday, me and you were talking about it, and they were up like 35%. So them dudes are rocking the chart. Feg Token's been doing absolutely great things, and I'm really excited for their future. I can't wait to get on to FegX and start wrapping my Doge and staking it, and wrapping my ADA, and wrapping my VChain, and wrapping it all.
Yeah, I
I mean,
think
as well, right? It's passive income. You wrap it, you stake it, you earn.
yeah, I mean, that there's so many different ways to earn crypto nowadays that it's pretty ridiculous, and I think it's time for people to come and realize that We have to start becoming way more innovative and trying to move on to, I think, more technology based innovations.
And that's really what we're doing right now is moving into more technology innovative standards with the smart contracts. Smart contracts are getting ready to set a standard all the way across the whole entire NFT and the cryptocurrency markets. So once all these native coins migrate over to, not really necessarily migrate, but once they get the ability to apply smart contracts to each one of their networks, just watch. It's going to be a standard. Smart contracts going to be a standard across the whole entire blockchain industry. And not saying that the government's going to come in and regulate it that way, but the government's going to come in and try and do their thing. But at the same time, smart contracts are going to become, a set standard. And that's going to be one of the main, most important parts of a blockchain. A lot of people don't realize it, may not realize it, but that's, so like with Feg token though, it's just sweet though. Like, how in order to get Doge, you'd have to be a node, right? And a miner, right? To validate the transactions. But if you have Feg token, you take your Feg token and your Doge over to FegX and you can wrap it, which I can't really explain to you exactly what that means, but it's like wrapped Bitcoin, and so you would wrap that Dogecoin, and then you would stake it on your website. So it's cool that you can earn cryptocurrency in all these different ways. It is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, it's sweet. But Satoshi hit us with that stuff from the beginning. They made like 90,000 games where you could earn Satoshis.
Yeah, and I mean Satoshis themselves. I mean, those are really great things that we can use for. We can use those for all different types of applications, and I think once people start using the Satoshi for practical applications within the Bitcoin network at a more highly adopted rate, I think that's when we'll really start to see things become uh, explosive. I think that's when we're going to really start to begin to see the end of cycles and kind
Well,
of
see,
more of
that's the
just these
thing too,
steps.
though. If you've been noticing, a lot more applications and dApps have been pushing the use of Satoshis. So, which I think is actually really cool. Like, I go on a couple of different websites where, like, I'll hit a faucet or something, and a faucet is pretty much where you can gain increments of said cryptocurrency. If you want it to be Doge, you can get Doge. You just got to play along in their captcha and then roll the dice, so to speak. But there's a lot of these new companies like Dogecoin. Dogecoin has been out obviously for a little bit, but they do that. They offer you to gain Satoshis and other little websites like that, So it's pretty cool. It's pretty sweet that they have the option for you to get these cryptos. But I mean, let's not get way off topic. But
Yeah,
we
let's
got
hear about another coin or another token, I should say.
all right. Well, I mean, Hold Token's doing good. They're up about 4.59% right now on the 1 day chart. 2.98. It corrected itself, but in the 1 week they're up 20%. So they've been doing pretty good. The 1 year they're up 136. We obviously know they haven't been out for 1 year, so 136% with a 1,118,000 24-hour volume. They're doing pretty good.
Oh yeah, I mean, just look at their liquidity. I mean, they have over $1 million right now in liquidity. This is a really
Yeah, they're
strong
gonna
token in comparison to some
yeah
of those other
they're gonna
projects that
be
you
around.
see out there.
Yeah, I don't know if you've been paying attention to their Twitter at all, but they're definitely they're not playing. They're definitely getting it in. Uh, they are doing it up, doing it, and and they're not letting up either. It seems like They're really trying to help their community get stronger. So they're really enticing their community to engage with each other, which is awesome. And I just feel they got a strong future. I just feel they have a real strong future ahead of them. I mean, look at the chart. Come on, the chart doesn't lie.
Yeah, I mean, over the past few days, or the past couple of days, they've been doing really well. If we scroll out, we can see that, you know, they had the mass sell off just like everyone else did on the 22nd. But if you look at their recovery from that, they're actually doing really well. So I mean, I think it's a project that people should be looking at. I think it's a project that people should be you know you doing their research on and seeing if it's something that they want to invest in. I mean, I think it's a pretty interesting project alone, just on the fact that you can earn BNB just by having it. Just by having it, you can earn a cryptocurrency that you can then later on go and sell if you really wanted to. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, most definitely. 100%. Another one. Let's talk about Noob Token for a second. All right. Noob Token. We haven't talked about them in a while. Probably been about a week or so.
Yeah, it's been a little while.
Yeah, they're doing wonderful things, though. I love Noob Token, man. I really do. I love the community. I love that project. Here to really help people and here to help the community. They're helping other projects, get their shit together too. So that's really awesome, and that just shows that they're going to be here for a while. They've been really working hard and diligently on releasing their website and getting it all up to date. They have some articles that were just produced and released on the website. Excuse me, guys. And they also have recently released what is called Noob Approved. And so I don't think it's 100% fully released, but what Noob Approved is that it will list fully vetted projects. So that way you can avoid, checking into a project and jumping right into a scam or something, right? So you could go to their website essentially and go look up fully vetted projects that you can go and invest in. And I think that that's really awesome, to be honest with you. So that's pretty cool. I mean, yeah, their chart doesn't look the hottest right now. And it's mostly because they've been working so hard on the website that, a lot of people are kind of like, oh, well, they're not doing nothing. They're not doing nothing. Well, it's, it doesn't just happen overnight that you launch something efficient, right? And unless you're like the masterest, the baddest programmer on the face of the earth, I imagine that it's going to take you a little bit of time to get all your eggs in one basket on an app, that's going to, serve its purpose. So a lot of people
on top of that, you have to realize that, a lot of these, really small developers, like these people have regular jobs, they have regular lives, they have to maintain those lives. So it's not something that they can necessarily, just be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to sit here and pour into this day in and day out, because they still have to maintain the lives that they have outside of that.
Yeah, I would say, depending on how your project does, right? Let's say your project really picks up, everybody's like, heck yeah, blah, 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 blah. 2-3 years into it, it starts taking a poop. You know what I'm saying? You can either leave your job right away and put full 100% of all your energy and focus into this. But I'm just going to say this right now. It takes a lot of money to opt. So there's got to be a secondary passive income coming in to fund the project, regardless of how much money is coming in from the project itself. You know what I'm saying? So, because chances are, if you know you got a liquidity wallet or something, and all your money that's coming from the cryptocurrency project, to the team or development's going to liquidity wallet, and then people keep seeing the money coming out of the liquidity wallet, even though they know it's for research and development, they're going to get sketchy regardless. So, you know, there's still always got to be a secondary passive income for somebody who's doing this. It doesn't matter unless you're sitting on a nice chunk of change and you can sit out and kind of relax for the next year or two or three. You better come into this with a job. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't come into it with just a couple $1,000 thinking that you're gonna, do something amazing, and you're just gonna make a project, and then the project's gonna make all this freaking crazy money without you putting work into it. It takes work. So when people are sitting here saying, "Oh, they're not doing it," they don't see what's going on. 10 o'clock at night till 4 o'clock in the morning of sitting there grueling code into a freaking app to try and make it work right, Like, they don't see that. So that's why they're going to say, oh, they're not doing nothing. But it's because, they're very busy. And then when people want to talk to them, they're trying to talk to them after, they've gotten done with what they need to get done. Now they're resting. And so
Right.
then when they the answer right away, they're like, and it just doesn't happen with Noob. It happens with all these different projects. I see it in all sorts of different telecoms. But Noob has been working really hard, and I give them mad freaking props. Like, man, they are doing some serious work behind the scenes right now. So, to all the Noob holders, if you get a chance to take a peek at this video, please just hold and stay tuned for what Noob's about to release, because it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome.
No doubt.
Now,
So I wanted to talk about
well, they also have, like, real fast. They also have like a new program going on. I don't know if they want. I don't know if it's only meant for the Telegram group, because I haven't seen nothing about it on Twitter. So, but they're offering like a very sweet program coming up. So stay tuned for that. I'm not going to tell you. You want to find out, go look up Noob Token on Twitter, Noob_token. Go to their Telegram and find out for yourself. It's worth it.
So I was going to bring up this Moon Trust. They're up 73% today.
Never even heard of them.
Neither have I until today.
Moon Trust.
Mm-hmm. Currently
I don't
sitting at
know.
about 0.000028. They have about $2 million, almost $3 million in market cap, or in fully diluted market cap. They have on regular market cap just under 2 million. Their volume is sitting at 60,000, which is up by almost 200%. So I mean, it's not like I really know anything about the project personally, but we can go ahead and check them out. Um, so we'll go ahead and start right here. What is Moon Trust? Moon Trust is a DeFi token built on the Binance Smart Chain. Our app allows users to connect their software wallets to their mobile numbers or Moon Trust IDs. Users are able to use our app to send crypto assets to their friends via mobile numbers or Moon Trust ID. The final confirmation will still be done by their native software wallets. Our app simplifies the complexity of assuring the right public address is entered for users, friends, and family. So essentially, what they're doing is they're trying to make it to where, I guess, putting in the incorrect address, is lessened. They're trying to lessen that issue. It's apparently a community-driven project. Um, we'll go ahead and check out their roadmap and see, what that looks like. So in quarter one, they launched the website. The native token was on the development. They launched on the test net. They did a Descale DeFi launch. Going into quarter two, they got their Coin Market Cap listing, their Coin Gecko listing, exchange listing, and then their Moon Trust wallet app. And then they're currently, I imagine, working on their marketing campaign. For their third quarter, they're going to do app enhancements, such as, I guess, the friends list and app enhancement for chat rooms. For voting, they're going to end up eventually launching a version 2 upgrade. They're going to have community event and want to have partnership announcements. And then on their fourth quarter, they want to incorporate Moon Trust token into partner apps, and then a NFT plan announcement. So it looks like they just recently had released they've just released their Moon Trust wallet app, and how you can buy Moon Trust, and then you can take this address and go to PancakeSwap or the Law Token Exchange, I'm assuming. Their team, so you have the product owner, which is, oh man, Lin Wang, Dr. Rostalov, Hui Yan, um, Nishant Bayani, and then Jake Malwat. So you have the head of design, you have the solution architect, blockchain developer, and then the legal consultant. Um, so, I mean, they seem like a pretty interesting project. Might be something worth looking into down the road. I wouldn't stop anyone from wanting to try and invest in something that could be potentially worth investing in for down the road. I mean, they're currently sitting under a penny, so it's fairly cheap to buy into right now and get yourself a pretty decent amount of coin or token.
Yeah, they look pretty promising, man.
Yeah, so the next one is this Inshore DeFi. They're on a 44% increase for the day. Bridge Oracle, they're on a 16%, almost 17% increase for the day. Pools Finance, they're on a 15% increase for the day.
Just go ahead and skip that next one.
Yeah, I was going to say Hydro, they're up 6%. Argon 6%. Faraland is up almost 6%. I mean, people are, tokens are doing really well right now. But on the other end of that, there are some that are doing, not so hot. Antimatter.
Dude, it's strange. It's strange to me that Cummies is doing so freaking good. Like, what the F? Like, how are you people going to get invested into that? Like, are they really even doing anything to... What's the solution for Cummies? Can we go look them up? I know I said skip them, but let's I want to see what they're even all about. I've never even checked them out.
Oh, man.
He says, oh, man. I feel it, dude. I don't want to either, but I just want to see why they're doing so freaking good. Does this say come round with games? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is why.
Yeah, I think you can figure out why they're doing so well.
Hold on. Staking and burn utility and holders active. Okay. So they're an adult NFT game, huh? Okay, get out of here. Bye. My bad. What a waste of time. But, dude, that doesn't make any sense, though. How are they sitting at 4 cents, right? But then you got coins or tokens like Boob Coin that is essentially almost the same thing. It's a adult NFT space, right? But it's for, like, actual OnlyFans models and, like, models from, websites. And they're struggling to make a freaking come up. And they actually donate to breast cancer awareness. So it's like, it's really mind-blowing to see things like that taking off. But then you have something that actually does a real good purpose that is struggling,
Mm-hmm. No, I know. Is there any other tokens that you wanted to bring up before we close out the show this evening?
I mean, there's a few I'd have to pull. I mean, if you could pull them up, let's. It's really hard to tell which ones are doing really good. I got a lot that are tracking, but I have a lot that are not tracking, and a lot that are not tracking are some of my more favorite ones, you know. So, or some of my favorite ones, and so it's really hard to tell you how some of these are actually doing. Um, there's this one I just got the other day. Somebody sent me this one called Wafer Coin. And from what I looked, I mean, they don't have a lot of holders, but from when I looked, they were doing pretty good. And so I was really excited to, start looking into them and seeing what they're. I've been seeing them though for about a month. They have like a little skull on as their logo, and it's spelled WAIFER coin, and they are a BEP20 token. Wait, yep, they are a BEP20 token, and they're. I mean, it seems like they're doing pretty well. They got people buying into it, so it just seems like they need a help. Yeah, there's a massive sell,
Well,
and the
this is
chart is.
during the launch. That always happens on the launch.
Yeah, but the chart just doesn't really look that promising. They only have, I think it's 9 decimals too. So,
Well,
um,
right now they have an unlocked wallet that holds 94% of the LP, so there's
yeah,
that.
it's kind of scary. Yeah, I got the coins given to me for free, so it's like whatever. Uh, I don't think that they're. I mean, that's scary with the 94%. I just wanted to see what the chart was looking like. I've never done my research on them, so I probably we'll see what happens if they lock that wallet. Then it'll be good news. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, most
Um, there's an,
certainly.
there's another one though that's really good. It's called New Gen Gaming, and we may have talked about this or may not have, but New Gen Gaming is what they're called,
Mm.
and they're doing pretty well. They got an awesome
What's
platform
their
about the
ticker?
uh, New GG, NEWGG.
I'm not pulling them up on PooCoin.
That's weird. Yeah, I think I had a hard time finding them too myself, to be honest with you. They're not really super popular right this second, but they have like a whole entire gaming uh thing getting ready to take off, so should be pretty good. Yeah, they're here on on BSC scan. They're on there. And it looks like, they're getting some buys. Some people are buying into it. Been getting buys for the past couple of days. So that's a pretty good thing. Um, I'd have to give you the contract address uh, in order to pull them up on PooCoins properly. That's why I had a hard time. So I'm trying to do that right now. Might be able to get it over to you on Twitter before we end the show. But other than that, I can give you another token to look up here in a second as well. There's quite a few, man. I mean, quite a few different tokens coming out that I'm really interested in. Lots of good things happening. What was that called? Okay, here it is. I found it. New Gen. So, all right, that's the contract address, and I'm gonna try and get this over to you right now as we speak. Um, but yeah, so they're doing pretty good. They got something awesome coming up, so check out their platform and what they got going on. Check them out on Twitter. New Gen Gaming is what they're called. They're pretty sweet. So here goes that contract address. It's in your inbox right now on Twitter. Bam. And yeah, so there's that. Sent you that contract address. Another token we could talk about though in time being is let's see.
It's all right. I got it. I got it pulled up.
Nice.
There we go. This is kind of what they've been doing since the 24th. Looks like
Yeah,
they spiked up to looks like 10 under the decimal, maybe
yeah,
9
they're
under the
not
decimal.
a lot of these little projects, I haven't even checked their liquidity or anything, so it's probably in the watch wallet.
Yeah, it's
Um,
actually, their liquidity, they're at 20,000, and there's nothing, there's no alert about it being an unlocked wallet, so.
well, the thing about these tokens too, is you're going to see a lot of people pour a lot of money into it right off the right? Get them to an all-time high fast sell, so that way they can take the profits and either invest into other tokens or invest into crypto. So
No, yeah,
it
I
doesn't.
understand. I mean, there's plenty of people that, there's lots of whales that come in and that's what they do. And that's why you see a lot of these coins when they first launch, you'll see them have that initial huge spike up and then that huge drop right afterwards.
Yeah, no doubt, because they come in, they spend $1,000, wait for it to hit that high, and then just dump. And so it's all just a game to them, which is whatever, gamble how you want. I guess if that's what you want to look at it, this is gambling or having fun, then gamble how you want. To me, this is investing. I don't look at it as gambling. I put money in these projects where I want my money, not where I just want to make extra cash real fast. Because if that was the case, I'd be a trader.
Yeah. Well,
So,
I
yeah, I
guess
don't know. I mean, it's I'm that off then, right?
you said what?
Project said enough of the projects that I guess because I don't really have any more
Well, that and
to.
I think you're having some connectivity issues on your end because your voice is coming through really disconnected. But yeah, I think
I
that's
might
enough
have had
projects
my
for right
finger
now.
over the. I might
More
have had my finger over the speaker.
oh, but yeah, I think that's enough projects for right now. We can talk about some more on Friday for anyone who's watching this down the road. If you'd like to talk about any projects or if there's a coin that you'd like to have on the show, just go ahead and make sure that you're here on Friday between 7 and 9 Eastern time, and then you will
Either
be able
that
to
or
catch
just shoot
us.
it in the comments anytime, Anytime you want to talk about a video or something, just pop it right there, dead in the comments, Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and share us and pop that right there, dead in the comments. Any video that you see on our channel, if you say, hey, you guys should check this token out, maybe we'll try to feature it in the next video or something.
Yeah, no doubt. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and close out the show. Everyone, have a great night, great day, wherever you're at. Crypto Invest TV is going out.